Hello, friend. I'm Reverend Ric Beattie. I'm the senior minister here at Unity of Royal Oak in Royal Oak, Michigan, and it is an honor for me to welcome you and to spend this time with you virtually. So we begin today the journey that many of us understood as children or as young people of Lent, that begins with Ash Wednesday. And I grew up as a Roman Catholic, and going to get the ashes on my forehead was always a part of the ritual. And I have even done that in Unity, but not this year. Maybe next year I will do that again, the imposition of ashes. It's an outward symbol of something that's going on inside. And Lent is a time of preparation, getting ourselves ready for Easter. Now, there's nothing we need to do to earn Easter or to earn grace or to be okay with God. I know as a child I was always asked what I was giving up for Lent, as if we would give something up. Like a couple of years it was ice cream, and one year was potato chips, and I think cookies one year. Because the idea was that because Jesus made a sacrifice for me, that I would make a sacrifice. Well, Jesus nor God calls us to make a sacrifice. But we are called to apply principles and to live by those principles. And there are many things that I will give up for Lent, and we're going to talk about that. I'm going to be working probably through this Lenten season on both Wednesdays and Sundays with the material from Unity Worldwide Ministries booklet, Release and Renew 2022, A Spiritual Guide for Lent. And if you haven't gotten a copy already, you can get one from Unity Worldwide, not Unity Worldwide Ministries, Unity World Headquarters published these books. And we also have some here in our book nook. So if you're local, you want to swing by the church at some point, you get the booklet out of the book nook. Or if you're remote from us, if you will let me know, email me at rick@unityofroyaloak.org. And give me your name and address and a phone number if I need to reach you, and we will get a booklet out to you. It's written, in the last couple of years, it's been like this. I love it. Like today is Ash Wednesday, and it's written in the idea of one day is a release, and the next day is a renewal. So release and renew. Release and Renew 2022. That's where the name comes from. And for instance, the theme for today is I release problems that seem overwhelming. And tomorrow I renew my awareness of my spiritual nature. So it's about this releasing something, not like giving up ice cream, but releasing judgment, releasing anger, frustration, something I'm holding against someone, something I'm holding against me. And then embracing something new, renewing something. So I want to share with you part of this reading for today, Ash Wednesday, March the 2nd, 2022. The affirmation is, I release problems that seem overwhelming. Some days I awaken feeling stressed and burdened even before my day begins. My to-do list is too long. And then I think I should have done that. I should have done more yesterday. A deadline is set for tomorrow. How will I ever meet it? Pressure from the outside world and from my own inner expectations weigh me down. I'm sure I'm the only one who pressures themselves. I know I'm not. I know many of us do, and we live in a society and a culture that's hell-bent, it seems, on push, get more and more and more done. Well, I'm learning a bit, perhaps because I'm getting older, hopefully a little wiser. It isn't necessarily about getting more done. It's about the quality of your life. The quality of your life. Yes, there are some days I awaken feeling stressed and burdened even before the day begins. Although I'll tell you, not so much in the last few months. Good self-care. Taking a sabbatical last year helped. Taking time off, honoring my Sabbath day, honoring myself has helped a lot. I learned long ago when I was in business, when I would wake up in the middle of the night with something on my mind, I would ask myself, is there anything I can do about this now? And if the answer is yes, and it might be to write a letter and fax it, or to send an email, or what have you. If there's something I can do about it now, I will get up and I will do it. But if not, I make a note and I work on it as soon as I can. And that has helped me a great deal, because when that thought is nagging at me, maybe I could just take care of it in an email, get it sent. Or perhaps I can, and I still can fax from home, but I used to do a lot of letters, a lot of correspondence, and I would fax a lot of things. So that's one way of getting that monkey off of my back. The to-do list is too long. One of the problems that I've had is I tend to want to do it all. I expect that I'm supposed to do so much. And really, I'm a ringleader. I have a team of people, both paid and volunteer. And it's a cooperative effort. So look around in your world and see, are you trying to do too much of whatever it is that's vexing you yourself? You don't have to be alone. We're hardwired to be in community. We're hardwired to be tribe. I continue the reading. During these times, problems seem overwhelming. Well, they might. I don't necessarily think that every problem is overwhelming. Problems are just challenges. It's just the next thing. We call it problem or opportunity. We decide. Each of us. We call it when we name it, and then that's how we run with it. The mind makes up a lot of stories, have you noticed? I know mine does. During these times, problems seem overwhelming. However, no matter the challenge or demand, I can be kind to myself. I pause and notice the sensations of stress and agitation in my body. One of the reasons why we meditate is to allow ourselves to reset. To allow ourselves to reset. And we certainly do it when we sleep. Right? All of that stuff goes away for a little while. So I pause and notice the sensations of stress and agitation in my body. Then I breathe long, slow breaths. Working with the breath in that way is the most basic form of meditation, in my opinion. We allow the breath, the coming and the going of the breath in its own natural rhythm to teach us, to center us. As we relax more and breathe a little bit more deeply, we become more and more relaxed, more and more receptive, more open to the movement of spirit, to the movement of life and love in us. I give myself the gift of a little break, a short walk, a spiritual reading, a moment of prayer, or I simply sit back and close my eyes. I close my eyes. By taking time out from the busyness of my day, I feel balance returning to my mind and body. In that moment, I can remember I am not on this journey alone. I remind myself God and I are one. We are in this life experience together. I don't have to carry the burden of my cares and concerns alone. I lean on the peace and strength of God, and the feeling of overwhelm begins to subside. And the Bible verse for today is from Psalm 55, verse 22. Cast your burden on the Lord, and he will sustain you. Now this reading for March 2nd and the one for tomorrow, March the 3rd, Thursday, I renew my awareness of my spiritual nature. These two have been written by Reverend Robin Volker from Blairsville, Georgia. So powerful reading. I hope that you will get a hold of a copy of this book. And booklet, it's a little booklet, published by Unity, World Headquarters at Unity Village. They do some amazing things. I remember for many years I got the booklets and then they didn't publish them. And it was one of the things that I was very grateful they came back under Jim Blake, and perhaps just before him, but certainly under him. We get a lot more booklets and I love them. And I always tell the folks at Unity World Headquarters at Unity Village how much I appreciate them. We buy them in bulk for the members of our community. We still have some. Again, if you'd like one, get in touch with me. You can do so unityofroyaloak.org, Ric at unityofroyaloak.org. You can call the church here, 248-288-3550. Leave a message for me, press option 2 to get to my voicemail. We'd love to give this to you because Easter is it's a journey of releasing and renewing, getting ourselves ready. I want you to have the fullest experience you can have of the promise of new life that Easter is about. We celebrate certainly what happened long ago to Jesus, and we celebrate the eternal journey that we're all on. Each of us are on a journey. What are you releasing today? And I've thought about several things. I'm releasing judgment. That's an ongoing thing for me. This morning on my way into the church, someone was coming the wrong way down Crooks Road at me. It's like, whoa. So what if I didn't judge that? I just take care of myself, get the car out of the way. Luckily, this person realized suddenly that they were going the wrong direction on the road. But, if we can remain a little stable, a little resilient, a little awake, a little aware, then we can take the best action for ourselves. Many have talked with me about the situation in the Ukraine. And it's a terrible thing. War is always a terrible thing, in my opinion. And we have been doing it for a really long time. Human beings, we've been fighting with each other, it seems, all during the time of the modern evolution of Homo sapiens. So 100,000 plus years. We know one warring tribe would go steal food or steal the women or steal whatever, the cattle, from a neighboring tribe, and then they would fight. And you probably know that Unity's principal teaching is that there's only one. There's not a good power and a bad power. There's just the power that is God. We wield that power. It's up to us. So I hope that you will embark on a serious reflection process for Lent. It can be, again, this booklet, Release and Renew 2022. Charles Fillmore wrote a very famous book on Lent, Keeping a True Lent. That's another one that I've used in the past. Doesn't really matter, but if you'll do something regularly, we call that a spiritual practice. Meditation is also a spiritual practice. You don't have to give up any food thing that it is not what you eat that makes you holy or not. It's what comes out of us, the product of our thinking, the product of our living. I admire so much the Dalai Lama, who has said more than once that his religion is kindness. Wow. What if we were kind to each other? Do you think if the leaders of Russia were being kind to the leaders of the Ukraine that they would be fighting? No. And does it bother me that once again, what appears to me to be a bully is overrunning a nation or trying to? It does. And I can't solve that. What I can do is love everyone in that situation. I know that there are civilians in Russia marching and picketing, protesting what their government is doing. And certainly there are valiant people in the Ukraine determined to resist. I've learned to respond if there's something that I can do. It's just like waking up in the middle of the night. Is there something I can do now? Can I make a contribution to relief efforts? Can I hold the place in prayer? Can I beam love there? Can I hold it in the power of love? And some say to me, "Oh, Rick, you're such a Pollyanna." Well, thank you very much. Yes, I am. I happen to think that love is the most powerful force in the universe. And someday we'll get it. I also know that people will die in this war. Now, I don't mean this to be flip in any way, but we're all going to die someday. The body will die. But who we are, the energy pattern of us, never dies. And it's terrible for a family to lose a brother, a husband, a son, a wife, a daughter. It's painful. It's painful. And love can heal that as well. So We're going to spend just a few minutes in meditation today. I'm using some music called 6 Degrees of Meditation that our creative director, Kim Lang, created for us. Well, I think I'm going to. There it goes. Maybe. Well, evidently not. I've got a technical problem. So we'll just meditate without the music, and that's okay too. So taking this concept of today, this idea that I release problems that seem overwhelming. I have no idea what's going on in your life. But I know that all of us have things that come up sometimes that are overwhelming. And one of the best ways that I have found in my time in Unity, the last 45, 46 years, is to up my spiritual practices when things are tough. Spiritual practices like taking care of me, walking, meditating, reading something positive every day, reading a reading, and then thinking about it. Not just read it and go past it, but think about it. You can read Daily Word. You can read this booklet. You can read your Bible. You can read anything. Watch a video. So these are all spiritual practices, and I employ a number of them. So let's take a moment to just scan your body. See if there's any place in you that's holding tension, holding any kind of stress, tension, tightness. And if there is, as you notice it, watch it drain away. Just invite it to drain away to the nothingness from where it came. And now, let's take 3 deep breaths together, because so many of us breathe rather shallowly. So let's take a deep breath in. Hold it. Sigh it out. Take another deeper breath in. Hold it. Sigh it out. One more deep breath in. Hold it. Sigh it out. And now let your breathing return to its normal pattern and rhythm. And yes, I've got the music fixed. So just allow yourself to breathe your normal pattern, your normal rhythm. And now I invite you to a couple of things. If there's any noise that you hear that distracts you, be it here in my office or wherever you are, let it be a reminder to turn within. Meditation, to spend time in the silence and the stillness, to spend time in communion with God, is to turn our attention away from the outer world. And there's a concept of the outer world, this world we live in, being an illusion in A Course in Miracles. And a lot of people look at that a little bit differently than I do. I think of it as the world of change. Have you noticed how the world is always changing? But what never changes is that presence, that power. We call it the I am, or the Christ that is within each of us. For God has extended itself into this dimension through you and through me, through everything that is made and everything that is yet to be. So allow the rhythm of the music, the rhythm of your breathing, to call to you, to come a little closer, to come a little deeper. And I invite you to follow your very next breath inward to whatever the place is in you where you think is the center of your beingness. For that center is Christ enthroned in you. You can meditate with your eyes open or closed. It doesn't have to be long. A few minutes every day is powerful. Let us just be together in God in this moment. And I'm releasing stress and tension and embracing peace in my body. For I know that peace begins with me. I'm releasing concerns that I might have about the world around me, either because of the pandemic or because of another war beginning. And I embrace a profound sense of oneness with all beings. I release doubts and embrace my faith. I release concern about finding the right path and surrender myself to God in this moment. I renew my commitment to living this spiritual life. I release beating myself up about imagined mistakes or past shortcomings. And I embrace the truth that I am as God created me. Again, if you hear a noise that disturbs you or interrupts you, let it just be a reminder to turn within. And now join me in prayer as we take a moment to allow ourselves to be grateful for this life that lives us, this life that we share. Some call this life God. Some call it universal intelligence, the divine mind, source energy. Many names, all pointing to something beyond words. And we see our planet wrapped in love and in light. There's a reason I have that picture of the globe on the wall behind me. It reminds me. There's also a picture over my other shoulder that a friend painted of my mother and I. She reminds me of how special life is. And we know that life is special for everyone. And it is our prayer that all people learn to live together in peace. Jesus said, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. Not as the world gives, give I to you." The peace that we seek comes from beyond this experience, beyond what's currently going on with this pandemic, beyond what's going on between the Ukraine and Russia and other countries, beyond the ego-driven conflicts. Underneath of all of that is a common humanity. It is my prayer for all of us that this Easter season, this journey from Ash Wednesday today until Easter Sunday, bring us all closer to God as we understand God to be, and closer to each other, because this is where God shows up, through you and through me. We appreciate you, and I pray for you, and will be praying during this whole time. I invite you to pray for me and for our community. And your support makes what we do here possible. So if you are guided by the Spirit to make a financial contribution, you can do that at unityofroyaloak.org. You'll see there's a black bar at the top that says click here to donate. You'll also be able to see all the activities we have going on. We're adding more all of the time. So please journey with us this Easter, or this Easter season, as we move into Easter through this Lent time. And remember, you don't have to give up ice cream or coffee or whatever. It isn't about what comes into the mouth, it's what comes out. And that's driven by this thing up here. So remember, friend, that the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. All is well. Namaste.